Hi. This video is about using Packet Tracer to simulate service provider networks like TELUS, which is DSL, and SHA, which is cable modems. So what we can do is go over here. The very first thing we want to do is set up our service provider. So we'll start with an empty cloud, right? We go to the empty cloud, and what we see is that we have slots here. The way they number it is kind of strange here. This is slot 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 10 slots, but they start bizarre numbering. So normally in the first slot here, I'll put a gigabit Ethernet card in, and I have to turn the power off. So let's try that again. Gigabit or Ethernet, and then what I want to do is run for DSL. We'll use this module here, which is the dual RJ11 connectors used for basic telephone services. So I can plug that in here. It says dual, but it only shows one, right? So I'll just put another one in here. So now I've got two channels here. If I go to my config, power must be on. So let's turn on the power, go to the config. I have a gigabit 0, a modem 1, and modem 2. Right? So this guy's set up. That's all you have to do to it. One of the things I'll do is I'll change this. Since we're simulating TELUS, I'll put TELUS here. And now I can hook up a DSL modem. Here's a DSL modem, two modems. I'll just hook up two PCs to them. Here's PC 0, PC 1, and now we do our connections. So just straight through for the PCs to the modems, to the Ethernet ports, and ditto for the other PC. Now the connection between for DSL uses this one here. If you click, it says phone connection, but we do port 0 and we do our modem 1. Do again, port 0. This time modem 2. I'm going to throw a switch up into here. This is going to be a very simple example. So I'll take a 2960 switch. Let's just move everything down here. Alrighty. And hook it up to our gigabit port that we put in here, and I'll just put fast Ethernet 1. So now we have our connection up to here. Now up in our, this is our service provider. Now I just put a switch, but this could be a router. Most likely it would be a switch, and then you'd have all your service provider switching going on here. I'll throw up a server just to indicate that there's a server up there. Hook it up with the Ethernet cable, fast Ethernet. Click up on here, I'll go config desktop, give it an IP address. I'll go 10.10.10. Oops. Might as well be 10. Right? Very simple one here. Over here, this is all on the same network. So this would be IP address 10.10.10.1. I'll make this one 10.10.10.2. Alright, so now I should be able to ping to my server. All the 10.10.10.10. Is that the IP address I put in? Yeah. Basically, we weren't getting continuity. So what I have to go back to the cloud here, and I can configure it. I'll do DSL, and this is what we're missing. What we have to do is tell where the modem is going to. So right now we want modem 1 to go to gigabit Ethernet 2, so I have to 0, so I have to add it. And then what I also have to add is modem 2 to gigabit Ethernet 0, and that's the part that I was missing. All right, so let's try this again. So, if I go IP 10.10.10, it works now. So basically, I was just missing the the instructions in the TELUS cloud to say that this modem is assigned to this Ethernet port, which means that you can have multiple Ethernet ports in the cloud, and you can have multiple modems, and you can assign them to different networks if you liked. And so if I go to PC1, I do the same thing. I go ping 10.10.10.10. I better type it in properly. And it works fine. Now the interesting part, I can go from, as expected, from our server 10.10.10.1, and for some reason I can't type ping today. I can ping either one of the PCs. Now from PC 0, I cannot ping PC1. Right. So I can ping from PC 0 because the rule says that anything coming in this modem comes out this gigabit port on this side. Right. There's no rule in here. If I go to DSL, there's no rule that says you can go from modem 1 to modem 2. Right. There's no option here. So you can only go from DSL to a gigabit port from what I can tell. So from this PC you can't ping this one you can't ping this one, but you can ping here, you can ping here, and from here you can ping down. So this would simulate a TELUS network, right? And we can replace all of this with any of the TELUS service providers that you like. So let's bring up another cloud. We could actually go into this cloud, add another gigabit port. We could add in cable modems, but just for the sake of this one, what I'll do is I'll take another empty one. I find it's easier to start with empty ones. The full ones have a bunch of serial ports. It's just more work to be done here. This one is already emptied. Turn it off. I'm going to add my gigabit port in first, and then I'm going to add my coax. This is the coax one here, CX. Add 2 ports on it, so we can add up to 9 more if we like. Turn it back on. This time I won't forget it. I'll go cable, coax 1 goes to, and for some reason it didn't recognize our gigabit port. So let's go back to the physical. So here's the option under gigabit, is that it could be either cable or DSL, so we'll select cable. And now if we go here, now the gigabit port is attached to the cable. So now I've did my routing from coax 2 to gigabit 0, or most likely it's bridging gigabit coax 1 to here. So now this time when we do cable modems, we use this cable here. This one says coax. You can see at the bottom down here it's a coax cable. So port 0 to coax 1, port 0, coax 2, basically gigabit Ethernet to our port here. This is all on the same network. I'm just using the same switch, so it's all on the same network. Normally you'd have this as a separate network, some sort of routing in between, and then a separate network. We'll call this one SHA. So that's the SHA system, and I'll give it IP address because it's on the same network. We'll just keep it simple, 10.10.10.3. And I should be able to ping 10.10.10.10, and I can ping. Now the interesting part is that from the SHA network I can ping any of the TELUS computers, and from the TELUS computer I can ping any of the SHA ones. So I can ping .1, right? Click over on this guy. We'll do our desktop command prompt. I guess I better put an IP address on this one. 10.10.10.4. Ping 10.10.10.10. Right, so I can ping our server, no problem. I can ping a PC on the TELUS network, but I cannot ping a PC on the SHA cable network. So that gives you a very quick rundown of how to create a TELUS cable DSL network and then a SHA cable network using cable modems. And thanks.